Okay, Arkham Knight spoilers. The big thing, I want to talk about what I liked before I get into what I didn't like, which is they got Mark Hamill back. Mark Hamill's back as the Joker again. Which at first I was kind of mixed about because I got miffed at this with the Arkham Origins, where I was like, could we really have one Arkham game without the Joker in it? But at the same time, the Joker has consistently been the best part of these games, so wasn't too mad about it. Because even Arkham Origins, the Joker was still the best character, even if they played Troy Baker, basically doing a Mark Hamill impression. I still thought Troy did a pretty good job, by the way. But they did a very clever job. Like, he's now back to life. They don't do that, which I was glad to see. I mean, they even show you at the beginning of the game that the first thing you do in the game is literally trigger the incineration chamber that burns Joker's body. But what they do is there's this whole subplot about the Arkham, like the Joker's blood that got into hospitals from the last game, which apparently turns its victims into like different versions of the Joker. Okay, whatever. That's kind of one of those plot points. Like, I didn't want to think too much about it. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go with it. Because each one voicing these variations of the Joker was still pretty good and pretty entertaining, and the animation is fucking fantastic for it. But what they do is, Batman is also, spoiler alert, well, you're here, you want all spoilers, is also infected with it, but he's the Batman, so he has a pretty good resistance to what's going on. He also has a high resistance to different variations of the Scarecrow gas. So when he's exposed to the new version of Scarecrow's toxin, he isn't haunted by huge, sweeping, illusional space like he was in Arkham Asylum. He's just haunted by the Joker, which basically the Joker in this version is a ghost that Batman sees in his head, who basically plays as like the little devil on his shoulder, like remind him of all his failures, of all his fears, of everything he's done wrong. He just mocks him the entire game, mocks everything he does. But it's not done like menacingly. He's just basically being like the little fucking bastard on your shoulders, telling you like, oh, you fucked that up, you fucked that up. Isn't that fucking stupid? You're an idiot. Like, that evil little voice in the back of your head. And I thought that was a very clever twist for it. And Mark Hamill again just knocks it out of the park with this. And that does lead into the struggle that turns into the finale of the game, which is basically a fight between Batman and Joker in Batman's mind. Because, like, one thing I will say about the resolution of the game, because the game ends with Scarecrow having revealed Batman's identity to the Word, which, bold fucking move, by the way. Very bold. But whenever Batman gets injected or anything with the Scarecrow toxin, the Joker's persona gets stronger and can eventually take over Batman's body. So that's what Joker wants, and that's why he keeps encouraging Batman to go, and kind of tries to manipulate him to go confront Scarecrow because he wants to become stronger. So when he finally does, and he kind of turns into the Joker persona, Scarecrow injects him with the poison, with the toxin again, because Scarecrow, who obviously has no way of knowing that it's like a Joker persona has taken hold, injects him again because it's like, well, you're not afraid. Why are you mocking me? Stab. I'm gonna inject you again. So now it's the Joker's greatest fears come to life, and that leads into you playing as the Joker in a first-person perspective. Like, the game suddenly, randomly turns into a first-person shooter at the end, but I was surprised by how well it fucking worked as far as the storytelling goes. So that gives Batman an opportunity to get the upper hand on the Joker and kind of like lock him away in his memory forever. And that somehow cures him of the Joker blood ailment. I don't know, comic books. That's kind of when I go with it, stuff like that. That's the point where I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to go with it. I'm not going to think about it too hard, whatever. But what was I going to say? So, like, but other than that, though, like, Mark Hamill is probably more in this game than he has in any other games before then, because he's always just the devil on the shoulder, and he's always constantly commenting, sometimes menacingly, sometimes pretty hilariously, on what Batman's doing at the time, whether it's fighting off villains, or like fighting Two-Face or Penguin or the Riddler or whatever, or meet up with Catwoman. He's always there to question his decisions and mock him for his failures in the past, like how he let some people die and how he's fucked up in here, how basically everyone he loves is going to die because of what he does. Like, a huge recurring theme of this that I really liked was how Batman's crusade gets everyone he loved either injured or killed, and how Batman has basically refused to really acknowledge that or deal with it because he's always focused on the mission. But yeah, the other big okay, let's talk about the Arkham Knight. All right, so I'm gonna fix my angle here. There we go. All right, let's talk about the Arkham Knight. It's Jason Todd. It's very obviously Jason Todd. From the first sentence he said, it's so painfully obvious it is Jason Todd. I figured it, like, even the advertisement campaign figured out that it was so obviously Jason Todd. Because you notice in none of the trailers that Arkham Knight doesn't talk at all. And they kind of, like, that method of advertisement kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because then they sent out a trailer for the Red Hood story missions, and Red Hood also didn't talk at all. And everyone else in these trailers is open gabby as hell. So like, oh, neither of these characters talk. Obviously, they're the same person. And then you hear him talk in the actual game, and you realize why he didn't speak in any of the trailers. Because, again, it's so painfully obvious. It's so obviously Jason Todd. There is literally no one else it could have possibly been. So it's like, that took me out of the story a lot, because they keep building up the mystery. It's like, there's no mystery. I know who it is. Stop wasting my time trying to convince me it's somebody else when it's clearly Jason Todd. Just get the reveal over with so we can focus on developing their relationship. Because when Jason Todd finally is revealed at the very last act of the game, they have some good moments, and they deal with kind of like Jason Todd's trauma and all that stuff. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want out of the story. I mean, that's something Under the Red Hood understood very quickly, was the fact that, look, no matter what way we tell this story, the identity of the Red Hood's going to be insanely obvious. So let's not waste our time. Let's basically tell you right from the beginning, and so we can focus less time on saying, oh, who is this? Who is this? Blah, 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 blah. And focus more on just saying, okay, how do Batman and Jason deal with their issues now in the future, given the past between them? That's all you had to do. Like, it felt so padded and so unnecessary. I was like, just get the reveal over with. I don't know how Batman didn't figure it out. You think of all people, but that's neither here nor there. Again, it's not enough to kill the game for me, but it was a huge distractor from the rest of the game. I still really like the Joker segments. I still really like the Scarecrow segments. So I was like, okay, I'm willing to let it slide. It's not a game killer for me. Although it does take such a huge focus, it does irritate the shit out of me. As far as spoiler goes, those are really the biggest ones. Oh, I take it back. They do kind of want to fake out. It has gotten some controversy. Like, at least I read an article in Kotaku that talked about this. And I feel like I want to talk about it because I have my own opinions about it. So in the game, Barbara Gordon gets kidnapped. In this universe is the Oracle, you know, in the wheelchair and all that stuff. And they do a brief little segment with the killer joke, which I think is how they got Mark Hamill back. But there's a scene where you get to watch as Barbara Gordon's exposed to the fear toxin, and she freaks out and ends up shooting herself. Where you think she's dead. I mean, of course it turns out she's not. But this got some from the some people. Not a lot of people. This is a very minor vocal point. But I heard some people goes like, oh, having her shoot herself is such a downplaying her character as a strong woman and blah, blah, blah. Like, I get the viewpoint. I get where they're coming from. At the same time, my viewpoint more is like, just because she's in the wheelchair and she's good supporting like a strong character despite her disadvantages and all that stuff, I don't think that makes her safe from any potential bad things that can happen to her. That's the point I read that kind of annoyed me. It's like, okay, yeah, she is a strong character. You're right. She is very like forward thinking, and she's a great example to other people like superheroes out there for not letting nothing get in their way from doing what they can to help. That being said, that doesn't make her safe from death or any other things that any other Batman's allies go through in this game. I mean, just about every one of, did I say Superman? Batman's allies gets kidnapped at some point in this game. Every single one. Robin gets kidnapped, Nightwing gets kidnapped, Oral gets kidnapped, Gordon gets kidnapped, everyone gets fucking kidnapped. It was one of the more irritating little patterns I noticed in the game. Again, not enough to kill a game, but it was like, okay, it's enough to drive the plot, and I get what they were doing with it, so I didn't really care too much. But I was like, I don't know, I just feel like just because that she does have a very unique position in the superhero community doesn't mean she should be any safer than any of the other superheroes either. That was kind of my viewpoint on that. I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I am just very, very... Maybe I don't have the proper mindset. I don't know. If you think I'm wrong, say so in the comments and we'll talk about it. Politely. We can politely talk about it. Okay. Other than that, though, I think that covers the main spoilers I could think about. Unless I want to talk about the side missions, which I will admit, I was surprised to see some of these villains' side missions. Professor Pig, in particular, I was not expecting to see. Deathstroke was a very pleasant surprise to see in the game. I liked the Man-Bat appearance, scared the crap out of me. Because when I was playing it, I had a couple drinks. I mean, not enough to get drunk right from that guy, but I was a little buzzed. And then I grappled on top of the building, and all of a sudden, Man-Bat screeched in my face. I was like, oh, shit. But even then, like, I feel like it could have done more with some of the submissions. Like, they could have done more with the Man-Bat one, I felt. They could have probably done a little more with Two-Face, because Two-Face is, like, my favorite Batman villain. I feel like he's gotten kind of screwed over in these games, because in Arkham City, he was basically a Bond villain for Catwoman. Catwoman's in this game, too, by the way. And I felt like, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I was like, oh, but Two-Face is such a tragic character. He's saying all these cheesy one-liners. I just felt like really just... I was disappointed. He's done better here, but even then, his whole portion is pretty small. There was a lot less Penguin in this game, which honestly I was kind of glad for, because I love Nolan North as a voice actor, but he started really getting on my nerves in Arkham City because he was in so much of the fucking game. Professor Pig is disturbing. I really can't think of anything else to talk about spoiler-wise, guys, so I think that about covers it. I still really like the game, though, despite its flaws. It is... I would put this below Arkham City, but like I said, above Arkham Asylum, because I feel like Arkham Asylum is probably the most straightforward of the Batman games. As in, it's a straight superhero adventure. The other ones get much more into the mythology and who Batman is as a character. And even at this lowest point in this game still exceeds as exploring that dynamic and explaining who Batman is as a myth, as a character, as a person. It does a very good job exploring all the different aspects of Batman. The voice acting is still top-notch. I can't think of a single voice actor I did not like in this game. Animation is gorgeous. There's really not much to say. Like, if you're a Batman fan, yeah, you'll probably like this one fine. So, I think that's all I got, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in whatever the hell I do next. Bye!